Alright, what's going on, guys? I'm going to start off this episode of Car Thoughts with a apology with the noise and the quality of the video and the shakiness. Obviously, I got to switch to the other side right now instead of my face because you wouldn't be able to see me in the dark. I'm going to do this episode about a story of when I was like probably around 9 to 10 years old. It's pretty much a story of how ignorant and gullible I was and had pretty much zero critical thinking. It's just dumb. It was funny though. It was one of those like memories. I wouldn't say it was trauma inducing, but it's there. It's stuck. That memory stuck for life. I still remember certain parts. So let's get into it. First, I'm going to start off with, I used to live at, I'm not going to say the direct address, but I used to live in Bowers Beach, Cooper Avenue, one of those numbers. Oh, yeah, it was Cooper Avenue, my bad. So there's these little beach houses that are on there that are all like 2-bed, 1 bath, and I used to live in one of them for the longest time. My cousins lived in a cul-de-sac behind me. It was very epic. Had a lot of good memories there with my cousins and everything else. Had great times. So we had neighbors that came down from PA. I'm gonna keep this family friendly, obviously. So I'm just say we didn't get along. They didn't like my mom for certain reasons. We didn't like them for certain reasons. I was cool with their kids though. The kids were all right. I don't remember the parents' names, but I remember Zared and Matt, and I believe one was Alex. So the one I took a liking to the most was Matt, because Matt was like, I don't know, he was older than me. He came down sometimes, didn't come down all the time, and he was just cool. He was cool, and in that time for me, it was cool. Not the best influence, but he was cool. Shout out to Matt. I don't think you'll ever see this, but I hope you're doing well, buddy. Let's take this back to, I was probably around 10 or 11, and he came down one weekend, and we were hanging out like we usually do. He had this cool electric scooter. I had a bike, so I had to keep up with him. I don't think I ever got to ride. I think I rode that thing once, but his parents did not want me touching that thing. But it was cool. I was jealous. I was broke. I was a poverty baby, so like something like that was insane. It was like, it wasn't like a normal electric scooter. Like, it's one of those ones you would sit on. It had like a license plate with its name on it. So it was cool, man. It was a big flex. I was broke, beyond broke. So like something like that was just out of reach for me. So like I was like, all right, well, I got a bike, whatever. I'm cool. And at that time, I think it was like a Hurt beach cruiser as well. But so we're riding around doing our thing in Bowers, and like, we're, as a kid, we can do everything that was just fun and entertaining. Well, at that time, we just come up with BS to do that was just, looking back on, was little to nothing. Like literally just going on the beach, and like we used to have these little dunes that you could ride on, and you could play this dangerous game of if that dune caved in, you're falling off on your bike and you're getting hurt, but it's fun. Or even running, when you're running on the dunes, they would break off and you just fall. It was fun. Hurting yourself was fun as a kid. That's all I know. But so we were doing something along those lines, and then he was like, "Hey, I have an uncle that owns this house over here." And let me back it up. So before we went over there, there was this empty lot that was for sale, and we kind of like cut back the weeds, and we were gonna make it a cool chill spot. But then one day, I think the next day, he was like, "Hey man, my uncle owns this abandoned house. Do you want to go look at it?" I didn't like think twice about this. It's like, oh, it's his uncle's. He wouldn't lie to me. I still don't think. I'm pretty sure he lied to me. I mean, to this day. So we get up on the property. It's cool because it's an old little abandoned shack. It's just a bungalow house, and there was this porch. You go on the porch, there was this little like rocking back and forth like rocking chair bench, and under it was a hole, and you could get under the house. So it was really cool. and like we had like BB gun stuff. We would dive in a hole and think like we're playing Call of Duty. We're like escaping something. It was very epic. Now remember that, because that little cool was, you know, a substantial thing in the story later on. It's let's just say it saved us. So we're checking it out, and then there's a shed behind it. Well, the shed has a padlock on it, and he's like, dude, let's get in there. I'm like, all right, well, what, you got the key? He did not have the key. He said, nah, man, we can just break the lock off and go in there. And I was like, your uncle's not gonna care? He's like, nah, dude, like, this house is abandoned and he's owned it forever. He's not gonna care that we're doing that. I was like, all right. I don't know why my critical thinking, no red flag rose, nothing, zero, nada. I was like, cool, he wouldn't lie. Let's break into this shed. So we took this rock and we were just beating on it, and for like a couple hours. We kept working at it, and then we came back. I think it took us 2 days. I think two days, maybe 3. And we just kept beating at it and just taking turns, and we finally got into it. And there was nothing in there. It was old football. It was just I feel an accomplishment though. It was a very good feeling. Like, oh yeah, we broke into a property that we shouldn't have broke into, and we went in there. There wasn't really anything that cool in there. Just old football, some other like knick-knack BS. Like, all right, well, that's cool. And so we just kept coming back there to chill. And then one day, I think the very next day after we got in that shed, we came back. And I was looking in the shed again, and Matt was in the front of the house. He comes running back to me, and he's like, yo, there's a man walking up. We gotta go. He said, follow me. So we run up onto the porch, literally dive in this little hole to under the house. Saved us, because this guy comes walking up. Well, our bikes were sitting out in the open at that time. And the guy grabs both of our bikes and he starts walking off. And I'm like, dude, what? Like, what's going on? And like, we're quiet, we're watching him walk by, because there's a little gap where you can see under the house. It's not too big, but we saw his legs walk, grab our bikes, and walk onto the beach. Because this little shack, this little bungalow was on the front of the beach. He was like, oh man, what? I was like, what are we gonna do? Why? He took our bikes. Like, what are we gonna do? He's like, dude, my uncle lives down the street. I'll go grab him and we'll go grab our bikes. I was like, cool. I'm like, all right. So we start walking a little bit, like 2-3 houses up, and we grab his uncle, and he just lies. His uncle's like, dude, this guy just took our bikes. Can you help us come get him? He was like, all right, cool. So like, we're walking on the beach, and then we see the 2 bikes by the water. Matt immediately starts booking it to the bikes. And I'm walking with his uncle, and then I start, following up with him, right? Out of nowhere, this old dude starts sprinting towards Matt, and all Matt does is he just immediately jumps into the water and starts swimming outwards. And I'm like, I just stand back and watch the altercation. I'm like, oh my God, what are we gonna do? And I was like, crap, all right, cool. I walk up there, and Matt's like, I forgot what Matt did. He swam back in, and he just ran off to, I guess, go get his parents. I started talking to the guy that took our bikes, like, look, man, I'm sorry, I don't know what's going on. I was like, please just let us have our bikes back. He's like, no, I'm calling the cops. Well, as a little kid, you hear cops, you're like, oh my God. Like, you think you're in, like, the worst trouble on earth. So you're like, I'm so sorry, I apologize, please just let's have our bikes back. He was like, no, not happening, stay right here. I was like, well, can I please at least go get my mom? And he was like, yeah, whatever, hurry up. And I'm like, all right, cool. So I start walking back, and I take like a long way back, and I'm just going through my head, how am I gonna explain this? And I'm like tearing up and shit, I'm crying, I'm all hurt and stuff. I'm like, oh my God, what am I gonna do? I have no idea what I'm gonna do. And I'm like, all right, I'm just going through a story in my head, and I'm like, all right, this is what I'm gonna say. I get back to the house, and everyone, like my cousin was over there, some friends and family were over there, and everyone was just in the house. Because like when I was a kid, my mom had everyone at the house. It was like everyone was cool and everyone was just chilling there, doing nefarious things that shouldn't have been doing, But at the time, I didn't care, nor did I know what was going on in front of my own eyes. We'll get into that another story. That's a little more un-kid friendly. We'll talk about them stories down the road. Once once my channel doesn't get completely blocked for whatever I gotta say. I don't want to, demonetize myself before I even get the chance. Obviously, it's not monetized now. Point being is, let's bring it back to the story. So as soon as I walk in the house, I have no idea what I was gonna say anymore. I was like, I messed up. You gotta come with me. The cops are coming. You gotta come with me. And like, no idea what's going on. And like, everyone just stops looking at me like, Mom. So I was like, breaking down, crying. I'm like, Mom, you gotta come with me. You just gotta come with me. So I think my mom and my brother came. We walked. I was like, look, I'm sorry. I was like, I didn't know what I was doing. Blah blah blah. And we walked all the way back to the place, which wasn't that far a walk. I'm not gonna over exaggerate it. Because Bowers Beach is a small town. You can look it up. Very small. We walk back, and there's two state troopers there. The guy's there. Matt's family's there. And then, like, the state troopers pulled us aside separately. Now, he was like, so what were you guys doing? I was like, he told me it was his uncle's house, that this was okay, so we broke into the shed because he said, his uncle's not going to care. He's like, I have no idea what's going on. I don't know why this is happening. Like, I'm sorry. And then he was like, well, he's saying it's your fault. And he told him it was my fault, and I told him that it was my uncle's place. Like, he flipped the whole script on me and threw it on me. He opted out on me. Now, I was just telling the truth. I wasn't even opting. Like, at that point, I wasn't even thinking about snitching or nothing. I was like, dude, I didn't think I was doing anything wrong. He told me it was his uncle's place. Like, come on now. I didn't realize, like, I guess that's kind of like snitching, but, like, I'm 10, 11 years old, bro. I don't even know what's going on. I don't know why I'm in so much trouble, other than the fact that, like, now it's starting to click. This is not his uncle's house. Like, it's finally clicking for me. No red flags. No red flags during this whole time until then. And, I'm like, alright, crap. Whatever, it is what it is. And, so the cops come to the conclusion. It was like, okay, they're trying to pin it on each other. Whatever. They're dumb kids. The guy didn't press charges. Luckily, nothing really occurred from it, but his family hating us even more. Me and my family more. And, I think I still went to hang out with him more, but I think he's, after that, kind of, like, slowed down. I mean, I have fond memories with him, but, like, thinking back on it now, man, he really did, like, switch up and try to throw that entire thing on me. I was like, dang, man, that is crazy. I don't think I got any trouble. I think because I was like, I told my mom the truth. I was like, dude, he told me it was his uncle's house. I was like, I didn't think twice about it. It's like I wouldn't purposely break into a house until I did, but not because I thought it was bad. That's another story. That's another video. But once again, no critical thinking or even thinking I'm doing anything bad. But yeah, I mean, like, that kid, he got me in trouble, man, and I can't believe he's trying to switch the script on me. I mean, it was terrifying. I mean, and he was telling me when the guy ran after him on the beach when he ran up to the bikes, he said his eyes were pitch black with anger, and I was like, that stuck with me. I was like, and I saw him, and his eyes were dark, like they were very dark, and he was just like angry. It's like, dude, like, once again, thinking back on it, it's a shed to an abandoned house that had nothing in it. Why are you tweaked up, my boy? Like, grow up, if you will. Grow up. I mean, he's probably dead now, but he's grown up enough. He's 6 feet under. No hard feelings. Obviously, we did something wrong, but it was a good. It's a fond memory I have because it was just stupid, like, just kids not knowing what they're doing. I mean, he knew what he was doing because he was older than me. He was like 2-3 years older than me, Matt, and he coerced me into committing a crime without even, like, me thinking twice about it. But I hope you guys enjoyed that story. If you did, please leave a like. If you'd like to see more, want to hear more, let me know. Like I said, I'm gonna try to stay family friendly, just so I can be more monetizable in the future if I do grow more. So I'm gonna try to avoid cussing and try to avoid not suitable for work stories right away, because I don't know how to edit. I don't know how to blurt out words and stuff like that. So I'm gonna try to keep it kid friendly until I can start editing and stuff like that. So I hope you guys have a great night. Whenever you watch this, good morning, good afternoon, have a good day at work, wherever you listen this to. Other than that, just leave a like and share. Have a good night.